All right, what is going on, Laker fans? Thank you very much for being a part of the show, doing a Lakers talk. So I got my actual Lakers talk show tomorrow on 7:10 ESPN, regular show, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. But I got to be honest, Laker fans, I haven't talked Lakers basketball in I think over 10 days. Took a little vacation and come back tomorrow. Obviously, everybody had Labor Day off, and I've kind of been itching to get in front of a microphone again and talk some Lakers basketball with my YouTube people. So happy to be on here. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Got a couple things that I want to get into in tonight's Lakers talk show. So I guess my main question right now for the Los Angeles Lakers is what's next? What are they going to do from here? Is this the squad? Is this the team that the Lakers have? Is that trade that went down, what was it now, 2 weeks ago or so, where the Lakers gave up a young Stanley Johnson, a young Talen Horton-Tucker for Patrick Beverley? Is that it? Is that all we're going to see? Is that going to be all the action when training camp starts in less than a month, Laker fans? It's going to start sometime at the end of September. At least that's when it usually does. I think the first preseason game for the Lakers is October 3rd, which is a Monday. So we are actually less than 30 days away from preseason starting. So that's why I want to start off the show. I appreciate you guys being a part of the broadcast, like I mentioned. So let's just say this. If the only move that the Lakers made this offseason was to go get Patrick Beverley, and let me remind Laker fans here, because I'm a proponent of the move. I'm a proponent of the Lakers going out and getting Patrick Beverley. And I do point out that they got rid of a couple young pieces because they did. Talen Horton-Tucker and Stanley Johnson. But frankly, I think it's worth the risk going out there and getting a veteran like Patrick Beverley, an actual defender like Patrick Beverley, and then we'll see what happens from here. But if that's it, that's not a very exciting offseason for a Lakers team that is not in a rebuilding mode. They're not in a position right now where everybody's looking at them and saying that, hey, this team's going to be really good in the next 3 to 5 years. No, Lakers are supposed to be good right now. Lakers are supposed to be competing in the Western Conference right now, and that is not necessarily going to be the case by the time the season starts. Certainly, it's going to take a lot of things are going to have to go the Lakers' way if that is going to happen. If the only offseason move the Lakers make is obviously that move for Patrick Beverley. So when I was gone, obviously the big news went down with Donovan Mitchell getting traded, not to the Miami Heat, not to the New York Knicks, not to some other team out there. How about the sleeper, the Cleveland Cavaliers, going out there and grabbing Donovan Mitchell? And the reason why I point out Donovan Mitchell specifically, because it could have some ties with the Lakers. I think we all know that. There are a couple teams that still could potentially make a move with the Lakers. In my opinion, you have to make another move before the season starts, right? I mean, just think about who's on this roster right now. Think about the players the Lakers brought in the offseason. Think about a player like Malik Monk, who I think a lot of Laker fans liked, ends up with the Sacramento Kings. Not really a huge shock or surprise there. But I have to assume that if you're the Lakers right now, you have to make another move before the season starts. And I'm not saying go give up every pick that you have in 2027 and 2029. And I'm going to get back to those picks in just a second. I'm not saying that go make a bad move just to go make a bad move. But damn, are you really walking into this offseason with the only move that you're making? You were 16 games below 500. You did get younger in free agency. Anthony Davis, no question about it, is the most important player when it comes to the Lakers this upcoming season. But Bron's going to be a year older, and I'd be lying to you if I didn't say that I'd have some concern that the Lakers are going to walk into this upcoming year with the only move really being made is that Patrick Beverley trade. So still sounds like there are a couple options left, and I'm curious to get Laker fans' thoughts on this one. By the way, tomorrow when I do my Lakers talk show on 710, I'm going to have Jovan Buha come on. He's always a fantastic source to talk Lakers basketball. To be honest with you, I just like talking basketball with him, whether there's some insider stuff there or not. I always like getting his opinion, going back and forth with him. But here are some of the options that we are hearing that could still be in play for the Lakers. Some that's going to have to do with draft compensation. Some that's going to have to do, does a a president of basketball operations like Danny Ainge want to make a move with the Lakers, with the Utah Jazz. They're in complete rebuild mode. Already got rid of Gobert. Quinn Snyder, obviously no longer the coach, and then Donovan Mitchell getting traded last week. One of the moves potentially still left to be made is to go make a move with the Utah Jazz. I was reading an article about how the draft compensation is going to have a lot to do with the Lakers potentially making another move. If it's just the 2027 pick, then maybe they get one of those Utah Jazz players. But now if you throw in both of those picks, maybe you're able to get Mike Conley and Jordan Clarkson, or Mike Conley and Bogdanovich, to use as an example. But it sounds like the Lakers are really, really trying to hold off on not giving up those 2 draft picks. The other one, of course, we all know is the move with the Indiana Pacers, which has been rumored for a long time now, which is the Miles Turner and the Buddy Hield for Russ, the 2027 and the 2029 pick. I'm going to give my thoughts on just those options right there. Okay, let me just kind of, as bluntly as I could put this, Lakers got to make another move. I mean, they have to make another move. You cannot tell me that the team that they're going to roll the ball with in training camp in late September, that's the team that they're most comfortable with. And you also can't tell me that in a year coming up where LeBron will be in his 20th season, that you're taking your foot off the gas. I mean, I'd be confused of what the strategy is if they don't make a move. Again, I'm not saying just go throw your picks away, but you got to do something. I really, really think they need, obviously, some veterans. They need some guys. When I'm saying veterans, I don't mean a 37-year-old and a 30-year. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about guys, and I know Pat Bev is older. Don't get me wrong. I know he is. He's 34. For all we know, he won't have as much of an impact he's had in the past, even though I thought he had pretty good impact with the Minnesota Timberwolves last year, helping them make it to the playoffs. And I think going 6 games against the Memphis Grizzlies in the playoffs. But with all that in mind, out of the 2 teams that we're seeing the Lakers could potentially make a deal with, which one do you think is a better move for the Lakers? Do you like the potential players with the Utah Jazz, some kind of combination of Mike Conley and Bogdanovich, or it's Mike Conley and Jordan Clarkson, or a move with the Indiana Pacers, which is Buddy Hield, and like I mentioned, with Miles Turner as well? So I hope that maybe there's a sleeper team out there. I hope that the Lakers are, aggressively behind the scenes weighing out their options and understand that if you're going to walk into this upcoming year and Russ is going to be on this team. I saw Byron Scott had put up, there was a quote, I think this was coming from Lakers Nation. I read it earlier today, that Byron Scott said that it could still work with Russ, but there's no middle ground. It will either work or it'll be a colossal failure. And that doesn't, obviously make me feel too comfortable. I'm sure that doesn't make Laker fans feel all that comfortable about this upcoming season as well. So comments below of which of those 2 teams you think makes more sense for the Lakers. I mean, personally, I think there's advantages to both sides. I really do. I know a lot of Laker fans are going to say, Al, he's way too old, but I think Mike Conley is a decent fit with the Lakers just to get another player in there. Now, it's going to kind of confuse things here because you'd have Mike Conley, you'd have Pat Bev. What role's Kendrick Nunn, even though I think is going to be off the ball more. And then you got LeBron James. So it's how the hell do you, distribute the ball, I guess you can say. The Jordan Clarkson, that guy can be a spark off the bench. No question about it. He could be a nice player for the Lakers. I love the role he actually had with the Jazz. I thought he one of the few players out of all the Laker players out there, former Laker players, I loved his role with the Utah Jazz. He did such a great job. And Bogdanovich is, man, that dude is a pure shooter. Likes the moments. I love, watching him throughout his career. And he's a good sniper for the Utah Jazz. So you get any combination of those players, I'm a fan of. And then the Indiana Pacers, the biggest difference, and maybe why I lean towards the Pacer deal, first off, you got younger players, Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. But Miles Turner is a defender. You got somebody that can actually play some defense, and we know how awful the Lakers were on defense. He's a decent enough outside shooter. And Buddy Hield, we know that the Lakers have had their eyes on Buddy Hield for a while now, so that one should be a big shock or surprise there that the Lakers are going after him. And like I said, maybe there's a sleeper team out there, maybe there's not. But let me know what you think in regards to if the Lakers do make a move before the season starts. Is it one of those two teams that stands out to you? Is there a player in one of those deals that stands out to you as well? There was an interesting article that came out. This was, I think I read this yesterday. Teams think that the Lakers. Let me kind of. I want to read the actual title of it, and I'll give my opinion on it. NBA executive says Lakers first rounders in 2027 and 2029 are most powerful thing as far as picks go in the league right now. Basically, what the article is talking about is, and this is an executive who told Heavy.com, but of course, this is an anonymous NBA executive. You got to love that. Nobody's obviously associating their name to it. But the guy was basically saying that those picks are very powerful. Why do you think those picks are very powerful? They're powerful because a lot of teams out there don't think the Lakers are going to be very good in 2027 and 2029. A lot of teams out there don't think that over the next 5 years, the Lakers are heading in the right direction. And frankly, I got to be honest with you. I don't really, I don't ultimately disagree with that. I kind of understand the theory there. But let me just kind of explain my thought process here. I don't think you should be playing for 2027 and 2029. I don't. I think if you're the Sacramento Kings or you're the Pelicans, or Pelicans a bad example. They made it to the playoffs last year. Indiana Pacers, the Utah Jazz, all these other teams should be playing for 2027 and 2029, but I don't think the Lakers should be. And frankly, I think this organization is they are different than other organizations out there. They do have the likelihood of just grabbing a meeting with big-time free agents who could potentially then sign with the Lakers, and all of a sudden you skip the rebuilding process like a lot of other teams can't skip. So I don't think all teams are created equal in the NBA. I think the 2027, 2029 picks are valuable. I'm not saying that they're not. But if that's going to stop you, if one of those two picks is going to stop you from making a trade that you think significantly improves your team this upcoming year and next year, that part I have a difficult time swallowing, because the Lakers have been playing every single year since LeBron James came to the Lakers. They have not paid attention to the future. So now all of a sudden, if you're so worried about one of those first rounders, then maybe you shouldn't be playing for the now, and you should be just paying attention to the future. I just don't like the 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I don't like that. No, we're all in. However, 5 years from now or 7 years from now, we don't want to give up one of those picks. Well, you're one or the other. You're either all in or you're not. And I hate being in the middle, because I think being in the middle is the worst place you can be in the NBA. In the NBA, when you're just not good enough to actually compete, for a slot in the Western Conference, to just give yourself a punch or shot, and you're not bad enough to go get one of those top 5 picks, is not usually a good position to be in. One of the things to keep in mind, and this, I think this one is fair. One of the things that the Lakers are trying to avoid doing in any of these trades, they don't want to add cap space past this upcoming season, where there's no really way to do that, because some of these guys, their contracts do leak in. I think Jordan Clarkson has a player option for the following season. I think Mike Conley's owed some money the following season. Buddy Hield, his contract has got a few more years left on it. So I think Bogdanovich is an expiring contract. I get that piece, because I think what the Lakers are hoping for, can they be in a position a year from now where they got $30+ million to play with in the market, and they could go try to get another marquee player? We're not going to know. So a lot of question marks still left for the Lakers. That's why I titled this Lakers Talk episode, "What's next for the Lakers?" And the true answer is, I don't know. I really don't. The Pat Bev move, I think, wasn't a huge shocker. I think most people were obviously trying to get him without a trade, some type of buyout. But why would the Utah Jazz do that when they could get some value? And they did. They got some value in THT and Stanley Johnson. Now the question is, do the Lakers have another move in front of them? We'll have to wait and see. But the big dominoes they've fallen. So those are done. If the NBA and the league was waiting for Kevin Durant, we know he's staying in Brooklyn. If the NBA and the league was waiting for Donovan Mitchell, we know he's going to Cleveland. So those were the two big pieces we were waiting to see drop. They dropped. Now the question is, do the Lakers do anything else from here before we get to training camp? Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Love doing my YouTube shows. Love, I kind of was thinking about this. I'm starting to get the itch here. It's been a long off season. So for Lakers basketball, especially these last 3-4 years, whether it was a championship run, the shortened season because of COVID, the Lakers' last game was April 10th, I want to say. So we haven't seen Lakers basketball now in months, and we're now less than 30 days away of preseason starting. So I'm looking forward to that. If this is the first time you guys been on the show, or maybe you come listen, frequently, but you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that, and appreciate you all being a part of the show. I'm back on tomorrow night live on 710 ESPN. You could tune in at 7 p.m. So thank you, Laker fans. Have a great rest of your night.